July 4th, 2023. Welcome to the Wild Bill and Chad the Defender at Kansas City Sports Talk. I had to make a nickname, and Defender it is, because today I'm defending Chiefs Kingdom and Chiefs fans and the Chiefs team. Like I said, I'm originally from Independence, Missouri, but I'm living here in Florida. I still defend the Chiefs today. So Bill's not going to be in the video with me today because I'm making a short one, and sometimes we'll make our videos ourselves. Uh, but as the season draws closer, we making more content. Please subscribe. That way we can do um, we can stream and have Q&A, questions and answers with you. Today I want to talk about the crying of the Super Bowl. It just don't stop. Now, being both on both sides of it, being a Chiefs fan since late '80s, you know, when the Chiefs really, were horrible, they really were awful. Thank God we had the Royals at that time with George Brett, Frank White, Amos Otis. Uh, you know, um, those teams in the '80s were really good. They didn't always go to the World Series. They went once in the '80s, or twice, '80 and '85, won in '85, lost in '80. But they always had good teams. They were very entertaining. They were always in the playoffs, and the Chiefs were not that good um, until the '90s, until Marty Schottenheimer became the head coach. And even though we went to the playoffs and we had winning seasons and we were competitive, um, something would always screw it up in the playoffs. Uh, whether it was the Denver Broncos putting silicone on their shirts and it sliding off, or Lynn Elliott. Well, I'm not supposed to mention that name ever in Kansas City. Luckily, I'm here in Florida. Missing 4 field goals, he should have beat the Colts. There are plenty of 13-3 teams that should have went to the Super Bowl. We had the team to do it. We just never could get there. Even right up till Alex Smith in 2017, where they had the Titans come into town and throw themselves a touchdown pass off of one of our defenders. And when we've had some stupid stuff happen, now I don't care now, to the point where now they say people were getting lucky. Well, you know what? We had all the bad luck. Now let's have all the good luck. You can call it luck. I don't care. I'll take it. For years, we got dominated by the Colts, Peyton Manning, and John Elway. So so us fans that back then that stuck with our Chiefs, we deserved to be on this ride, whether people think we're lucky or. I just had on a Facebook page on one of the Chiefs sites where they have a lot of trolls saying that the Chiefs were lucky and really not that good because we were down by 10. What do you mean? You let a 10-point lead go. You must really suck then, Philadelphia. Look, I'm not here to say that your team is no good. Your team is fantastic, but you underestimated our offensive line, how good it really is. And that's okay. I hope they do that every year. You're saying you have 70 sacks. Well, you're not playing the same competition that the Chiefs are. You haven't played anybody as good as the Chiefs. That's what your surprise is. So, but here's the deal. You want to blame the field. I will say this. When our first game of the year, of that last season, was in Arizona, all right, and the field did suck. It really did. And it hurt our kicker, and it affected most of his season. and it hurt some other players with hamstrings and stuff like that. So for you to sit there and say, "Well, the field sucked," well, yeah, it did, but you guess what? Weren't the Chiefs on the same field as you, or were you just playing air? You can complain about the holding call. That was a holding call. Sorry, it was. In fact, they held him twice on that play. So don't hold. Oh, that's right. He probably would have got a touchdown if you wouldn't have held him. That's why you held him, right? Because he got burnt. He got toasted. Your defense got exposed, period. Your defense was all over the field. Didn't know which way our receivers were going. In fact, we accidentally ran the same play on the opposite side, and it fooled you again. Care how good you are, Andy Reid, your old coach, fooled you guys. Um, and you act like you're playing, minor league ball club or something. You guys had a good year, and I can understand why you're upset. You have a defense that has that many sacks. You think, well, shoot, we should stifle them. But here's the difference: we're not San Francisco, down to no quarterbacks. It's easy to beat somebody when they have no quarterbacks. Again, you had it easy through the playoffs. As far as the field, we both played on it. It was a close game. It was an entertaining game. We were slipping and falling on it too, but we pulled it out. Hey, it happens sometimes. Could it win that game went either way? It could have, but also I do believe that if some things weren't our way, we would have won by double digits. So um, but that's a game of football. As far as your players, the Eagles players, I think it's one of the corners saying that Patrick Mahomes was faking it, faking his injury, and also, saying that if the field was that, they would have whipped our offensive butt. But no, our offensive line, you guys underestimated. That's what the problem was. You thought you were just going to run right there like they're San Francisco. Look, Patrick Mahomes, whether faking it or not, and I don't think he was, what does that have to do with you trying to stop him? He still can move around. He can still throw the ball. You still have to plan on defending against him like he's 100% healthy. Otherwise, he's going to burn you. In the game against the 49ers, same way. He can move around in a pocket, and that was a good defense. Look, I got to understand being on both sides of it. And what I mean by that is when, some of the Chiefs' nemesis were, Peyton Manning, John Elway, and then at the very end here, he retired, is Tom Brady. And I despise Tom Brady. One of the best villains in football for me ever. And in 2019 AFC Championship game, I felt like we got screwed on that game when Tom Brady, if you actually look it up on YouTube, the Chris Jones 2019 AFC Championship game, roughing the passer call, it'll show where he taps him on the shoulder pads. And that's all he did because he was raised up by the offensive line and he hit the shoulder pads. Didn't even hit him in the helmet, and they called a penalty on him, which is a 14-point swing because they were going back and forth. They were trading punches. That was a stop. That was the ball game, even after the offsides penalty by I don't even want to say his name. Got rid of him next year. That it took all that and plus a Julian Edelman muff punt that was called on the field, hitting his thumb. even if it didn't, like you can't really tell because it's so close that car on the field should have stood, and that's uh, another swing of points there. So, but what do you do? I mean, you can't sit there and cry about it. It's over with. But anybody can say that about any of the games. They can find anything wrong with it. So, bottom line is Tom Brady is one of my favorite villains. I'm going to let it go. I thought we should have won. That game should have been ours. So we all have that as fans and other fans of fan groups. So I'm ready to go on to the next season. And it's funny, it's because I know people from Philadelphia. My son's mother's family is from Philadelphia, and I've been there several times. And I don't have nothing against the Eagles. Um, so we all do that. We all get disappointed in our teams when we felt like they should win. Not taking anything away from Philadelphia, they're a great team. They'll probably be there again next year, so there could be a rematch. But depending on health and injuries, and if other teams have their quarterbacks, you don't know. We should be there next year too. But again, we have a gauntlet to go through. We have the Cincinnati Bungholes. In fact, their fans drive me more crazy than the Eagles fans. I cannot stand Cincinnati. Cincinnati wants to talk about how they beat the Chiefs 3-0 at that time. Look, you can have the regular season victories. All that matters is the playoffs, and we're 1-1, and we have 3 Super Bowls to your 0 Super Bowls. We have 3 rings to your 0 rings. But we have a lot more coming, I promise you that. Go Chiefs Kingdom. Subscribe. We'll be dropping the video. Bill and I will be dropping the video later this week, and getting ready getting ready to for the season to begin. And again, subscribe so we can stream with you guys, and you can ask us questions. It'll probably take us a while to get there and people to like us, but hey, you have to work to get where you want to go, right? Till next time, thanks.